Hi guys, I'm really excited about today's video because we're going to be talking about my favorite herb, cilantro, or depending on your part of the world, coriander. Maybe your cilantro looks like this right now. Well, I'm going to show you how to grow fresh cilantro all year long. Hi, I'm Valerie and welcome back to Now Gardening. From the US to Morocco and from Mexico to India, cilantro is a must-have herb in many kitchens around the world, but growing it year-round can be a bit tricky. Don't worry though, I have a few tips that will help you work with Mother Nature to grow fresh coriander all year round. Now, one of the first steps in growing cilantro all year round is choosing the right variety. These varieties are better equipped to handle the warmer temperatures and are slower to bolt. Now, I don't necessarily have that luxury here in France because cilantro is not a very common herb here. I'm lucky usually to find one seed package that's actually organic. But if you really want to simplify your life, look for varieties such as Calypso or Slow Bolt. In one trial, and I'll link the details down below, but in one trial, Calypso was actually shown to bolt 3 weeks later than the variety Santo. So choosing your variety can be a first step in growing cilantro year-round. Now, if you've ever grown cilantro, you've probably already picked up on the fact that timing is crucial. Cilantro is naturally a cool weather plant, and so it thrives in the cooler temperatures, ranging from 50 to 85 degrees. Personally, here in my zone 8, I plant on 1st of February every year. Although they are slower to germinate at that time, as soon as the soil temperature hits about 45 to 50 degrees, then the seeds will germinate and I can get a head start on the growing season, meaning that I usually am able to start harvesting my cilantro by mid to late March. Spring is the golden season for growing cilantro, but that doesn't mean that you can't grow it year-round. What it does mean is that when the temperatures hit around 90 degrees, cilantro will start to bolt. So it'll shoot up, it'll produce flowers, and it will start to produce seeds. Now, there are various techniques that you can use at this time when it first starts to bolt up, not at this point here, but when it first starts to bolt up. Now, I have a different video that goes into depth on extending the harvesting by using different harvesting method, and I'll link that in the description down below. Providing shade, frequent harvesting, and making sure that the plant has adequate water are other ways to extend the leafy stage of the cilantro plant. But no matter what you do, at some point in time in the summer, if you get temperatures over 90 degrees, your cilantro will start to bolt. So what do you do at that point to continue having fresh cilantro all summer long? And well, I'll come back to that because first I'd like to ask you a question. Did you know that you can plant a new cilantro crop in the fall? That's right, by the beginning of September, I sow cilantro seeds again in my garden outside here to grow a new crop in the fall. Now, fall cilantro does grow differently than spring cilantro. As the temperatures get colder, cilantro will not bolt, but it will start to kind of fan out and its growth will slow down significantly. Now, our temperatures here get down into the mid to low 20s during the winter time, and believe it or not, I've actually left cilantro outside all winter long to see if it could survive. Surprisingly, it did survive all winter, although some of the leaves start to turn pink, and as I mentioned, the plant fans out. The other thing that's really interesting that happens is that the plant at some point becomes stunted. So it doesn't bolt like you see in this late springtime or early summer. What it does is it just stops growing. So what I typically do is before we get to our first frost, which is December, I actually start digging up a few of the cilantro plants to overwinter them inside. Now, this is great because cilantro starts so easy outside, so much easier than it does inside, and you don't have to go through any kind of legginess or seedling stage. With some windowsill sun, the cilantro will survive all winter long and I can continue to harvest it. Now, given with only 2 to 3 plants that I take inside in the winter, I'm not making guacamole every day, but we can't get avocados here in the winter time anyway, so that's fine with me. Which brings me back to what do I do after I've maxed out all the harvesting and I can't stop the cilantro plant from bolting any longer. And here there are 3 options that I use. But before I go on, if this video has been helpful so far, would you please click the like button down below? Thank you. Okay, well, from what I just told you about how I overwinter cilantro plants, you might have guessed that one of the things I do in the summer is I dig up some of those plants before they start to bolt and I oversummer them inside. Now, this is a great way to continue to have small quantities of cilantro without a lot of effort all summer long. And the second thing I do is exactly this. I let nature have its way. Why? Well, for the seeds, of course. Cilantro seeds can serve 2 purposes. One is that the seed is actually called coriander, or you probably have seen coriander seeds in the grocery store before, as they're used to season many dishes worldwide. And the second thing I do, which is what I highly recommend is that you save the seeds for your next crop. In fact, all the cilantro that I've grown since last fall has come from my seeds that I saved at the end of last summer. And I will go on to number 3, but I do want to show you something really cool. And so what's really cool is that when you leave cilantro to go to seed, it will actually also drop some of those seeds and self-seed your next crop. But we're not finished yet, because for the third thing you can do this year, I'm trying something new. So let's go for a walk. Now, as you can see here, I sowed cilantro in one of my new grow bags. This is on the northeast side of my house, so partially shaded and with much cooler temperatures than I have out in the garden, which is facing south. I have high hopes that this will produce tons of cilantro this summer. But what if it's like last year, where the temperatures were well over 100 even in the shade? Well, that's the beauty of the grow bag, because I'll simply move it inside if that happens until the heat wave passes. And this is how I keep fresh cilantro in my kitchen all year round. Have a great week. Bye.